holograms, Barney?
Yes. Yes, you did. You did get something back from those. And the answer is that they are indeed from two separate triads of the worm.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Does anybody want to, for the sake of all the hundreds of people that watch this? Just kidding. Nobody watches these except us.
I don't know. I've seen. You know, when I watched it to kind of rehash that you've had multiple views.
I think it's just us. Yeah, it's not. Yeah. If there were actually people that wasn't us, there'd be comments on it. So,
like, what a bunch of nerds!
Feel like these guys are awesome. I want them to play my game.
Although apparently there's like a bunch of, I think there's like dedicated like D&D channel, like what is it, Acquisitions Incorporated or something.
No, there's like a lot of good. You could actually, if you Google like actual play to watch, there's a lot. There's ways to really get into how to do this, but
see, Barney, the problem is it's not that no one's watching, it's you're not marketing us good enough.
That would be my job.
So yeah, we need more of Dale's face out there.
No, it's just that's what I professionally do is marketing.
No, but I'm saying for the marketing, I want your face out there.
Oh yes.
So does anybody want
You're the face of role playing?
Does anybody want to rehash some of the conversations that happened? You guys were playing poker. I saw that.
Yeah, Wu wins.
And hopefully they teach Kate how to play.
Yeah.
Enoch sits back appraisingly and condescending.
Kate mocks Phil endlessly for his attempting to run around the circle, the fact that he got caught cheating, which Wu happily and helpfully told her.
Well, I am the Goyard in the group. It's like my job to tell the story, right?
Yeah. All right.
Kate is going to leave Arby alone from now on. That is now Bob's job. When you watch this, Kate is going to leave you alone.
The subtext behind, I think there was one. I think one thing Bob said that said something like, "You're tired. You should go take a nap." That roughly translates into "fuck off." You weren't getting the hint.
Oh, hey, real quick. Abilities are times what?
Current rating times 2.
Times 2.
Attributes are current rating times 4.
Can I get 4 in intimidation and 4 in leadership?
Who are you learning them from?
I would say any of the number of legends that we currently have
I could teach you the intimidations if you teach me Foreign Brawl.
I can teach you Foreign Brawl.
I'll teach you Foreign Brawl.
Bob doesn't have Foreign Brawl.
Bob is a knife guy.
He's a knife guy.
Bob is sleeping with someone who can teach him Foreign Brawl.
You get a Foreign Brawl?
Yeah. Because she doesn't use a knife. She uses her claws.
So, Barney, is that cool?
I'll let you do one of them. Do one of them, and then do you do another one after our break?
All right, so I'll take the 4 in intimidation.
Okay. All right.
Could I go to Brawl, Bernie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kate learned 4 in Brawl and 4 in Survival from Hearthstone.
6.
I won't have the experience until after this game, but after this game, I want to buy Song of Heroes, where I can that rank 3 Galliard gift, because I think we're gonna appreciate that before we go into a spiral pit.
Oh shit! I gotta start looking at 5th rank gifts. I didn't think about that.
Oh yeah, I can't believe I don't know how how extremely rare it is to be a Metis Aaron. And
I'm going to hold off on that buy then until after the game, Barney, because I want to look at gifts.
Wasn't Hearthstone a Metis Aaron?
No, an NPC, but a player character. Yeah, it's still really rare.
That just means you didn't throw enough at him.
Yeah. Well, we did also get to start off at rank 2. It's not like we were starting at rank 1.
Yeah. Yeah, but still, man. Yeah, going from rank 1 to rank 2 takes a couple gaming sessions. Even if hypothetically speaking, you did start at rank 1.
Hey, Bob. It's not within your auspice of your tribe, but rank 5, Fenris's Bite.
I've bought those before because I have I've sold it to Barney that I have Fenris blood.
Hey, but you know what? Now you know that's what you thought at least. Look at the Metis gifts though. There's some really freaking amazing Metis gifts too.
Yeah, there's like a porcupine one that you can really mess with people.
Yeah,
like if they're attacking you.
Yeah, and I think if you look at the rank 5 Metis gifts, there's like a lot of like elemental powers as well.
Hey, Barney.
The two they have, the ones they have in this book is Madness and Totem Gift.
Yeah, what was that, Dale?
I was just gonna say, Gnosis.
Current
can we still get as much as we want?
You guys are in a magical stagecoach, and you guys been in the Umbra a lot. What's your Gnosis at now?
Currently 6.
You can get 7. 7's gonna anything higher than that's gonna be hard to.
And then what's the cost?
Current rating times 2.
I can take Madness, which allows your foes to face all the inner demons that I face, and it causes insanity. It's awesome.
Nice.
But in a way, you can kind of think Metis are like the Malkavians of.
Yeah, and then you do that to a Black Spiral, and the Black Spiral's like, yeah, and
that's great.
Yeah, it's like, gee, you had it easy.
You're almost there, man.
Almost there, man. All right.
You just boosted me up.
All right. So depending on what you guys do, this just might be a heavy role-playing session tonight. You guys are, so it's been about a couple weeks as you guys are, and the legends have kind of gathered, and you guys have been sending out information and still waiting on, basically, you're waiting on hearing back from Victoria to see the child of Gaia, and also tracking down information on Bob's mom, basically.
I'm sorry, Barney. Who's Victoria again?
Truth Seeker.
Amos's mother.
That's Amos's truth. She's the one that lives in Summer Country.
Okay, is she a rank 6?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I just can't keep track of there's too many characters.
Rank 6 child of Gaia.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't have the memory anymore.
Getting old there, Brian?
Oh, old and stoned.
So you guys have been basically through the just traveling, through the Umbra, going here and there. You've been able to, with Bowery Bob's power, with sending telegrams, you've been able to find certain points that you felt safe enough to pick up some of the other Cairn's warriors to help protect.
Oh God!
You were able to pick up some from so far Wilkins Farm and Devil's Pride. So you have some Black Furies and some Iron Riders that have kind of joined.
What ranks are these extras?
No, rank 2s, rank 2s, rank. Maybe a couple of rank 3s.
Are they at least Aarons?
Not all of them.
That's good. They'd probably be fucking at each other's throats after a while if they were all Aarons.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I wrote out like the challenges, they have like a whole list of physical challenges, like mental challenges, social challenges that a master challenge would use, because it's not all blood and claws. You know, like 2 Galliards, you can have a riddle contest. See who wins.
So as the new people come in,
Yeah.
the way Bob treats them is with happiness and excitement, and he's using an absolutely different tactic he wants them to actually understand that multi-tribe packs are actually the future. I'm not being in the least bit standoffish. I mean, firm, yes, but I think that that's the way to approach this.
Okay.
And show them that they can be a part of something greater, as opposed to just, hey, we know you're here to maybe fuck us over later. I'm trying to mess with their, I don't know, just trying to show them that we're actually pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah, it's a couple of the I would say a couple of the Galliards that have joined are cautiously thinking that's kind of that makes a really cool story. But the Philodoxes and the Aarons that joined and the Thurges kind of guffaw at it a bit. The Thurges, in the sense too, historically speaking, and you still see it in modern werewolf. Tribal Thurges talk to very specific spirits, and it's hard for them to see the idea of needing to talk to different spirits, because pretty much every tribe has, and every tribal totem, if you dig deep enough, will have some sort of alliance that you can get anything you need from it. Same thing, Philodoxes are kind of ingrained in an idea of that, tribes are tribes. But the Galliards themselves like it because it's a good story. Ragabashes think it's awesome because anything to, upend the apple cart is always good. So interestingly enough, the Galliards and the Ragabashes seem, stereotypically speaking, are the two auspices that seem to like the message that you're saying.
So with the new Galliards that have come in, Wu will get them up to speed on the tales of heroism and renown of the different members of this multi-tribe, pack and sept, so that they kind of know, just telling the story of who we are and what we're doing to the other Galliards, so that they'll know for their stories as well, so that our stories get passed on in case all of us die.
And Chaska would go out of his way to kind of pass the word on what our kind of quote unquote local rules are.
Okay.
So anything to Bob's point about kind of how we run as a multi-tribe pack, I would kind of reinforce that, especially to the other rank twos.
Okay. All right.
And I didn't know if there was discussion of this, but Bob does not care if anyone knows that he's technically of Black Spiral blood. He would tell Wu, he'd be like, I give no fucks, just let people know. We're not hiding anything.
Like, are you sure that's the right play?
I don't care. Is it the right play? What do you mean? I'm an Iron Rider.
Kate would tell Wu on the side that if someone asks, don't lie, but don't volunteer the information.
Yeah, I'll look at the fact that Kate has a lot less missing parts to her skull than Bob does, and make my decision based on that.
Here's tactically, this is what I'm thinking. Later, when I'm leading the entire tribe of Iron Riders, I don't want this to be a dirty secret to come out later politically. Just let it fly. I know how the sneaky shits are.
As you guys are traveling now through one part of the Umbral realm that seems to be reminiscent of maybe like a Germanic forest almost. You guys are kind of like near the cusp of like, as the mayor tells you, you guys are kind of near the average. That they're the edge of a few pocket umbral realms that are close to Pangea. So it's heavily wooded. It's also very enriched with wild spirits, and there's been. You also got news came back of 3 legends that have been killed by umbral storms, targeted umbral storms. 3 cairns that had legends in them that have gotten decimated. You also hear that the storm meter is getting increasingly more powerful as it's getting closer to the Tarian realm.
Has Alexia Spark Speaker sent me any recon on the storm itself based on their crazy journey? Because I asked the Stormbreaker pack essentially to see if we could get some recon.
You get some cryptic message back, basically saying, their journeys on testing out what the Weaver spirit is on that is going very well. She doesn't give you any information more than that, as the fact that you're collaborators but also competitors.
Okay, but we had to deal with them.
Yeah, no, and she gives you some information.
All right.
You just get the impression that there might be withholding a little bit.
All right.
Suddenly, the stagecoach seems to abruptly come to a halt, and you hear the mayor's voice inside saying, "Something's holding me here."
Oh, that's not good. Is it tangible or is it an unseen force?
You hear him sigh, and he says, "I think Madam Givens is outside."
Guess we'll go outside.
I go through the roof hatch.
I'll step out.
Yeah, I'll step out with Kate.
I'll step out.
How far along am I, Barney?
You're probably on your 7th month now.
Okay, so it's beginning to really show.
Oh yeah, it's showing. Because you have a pretty wiry body, so.
Yeah, but some people with wiry bodies hardly show at all.
No, it's
how big the baby gets.
You're 7 months. You're 7 months pregnant, man.
Hey, when my sister was pregnant with the last, until like the 9th month, you could hardly tell she was pregnant.
Yeah, but I don't know your sister, but I know when my wife was pregnant, the picture you're showing, you have pretty narrow hips, so I'm guessing you're probably.
Yeah, Kate was never very big.
Yeah. So
by the way, this just sounds like a conversation that you'd only hear in California. You're 7 months pregnant, dude.
All those people out there, Barney?
No, I just for the sake of all those people.
I take it her pets are with her.
Yeah.
Is it just that pack? Is it just that pack, or is it others?
There's a couple other Black Furies that you guys don't recognize that are with her.
So
You
no
see
one.
actually outside the stagecoach. You guys see that you're on a heavily. It appears to be a heavily traveled, rutted dirt road that seems to be winding through forest. The road seems to be where the stagecoach has stopped. There seems to be freshly created, almost like freshly imagined or freshly materialized stone pathway that kind of goes through a hedge that seems to be very with an archway to it. And inside there, you see like a beautifully canvassed canopy where it seems to be almost like a tea party setup inside a clearing. And you see Madame Givens sitting there. It's a straight view of her on the path. You know, she right on that stone pathway through the arch at the end of the table under the canopy. You see Madame Givens sitting there with about 5 Black Furies.
I'll look at Wu.
Sitting there with you.
What's that?
I'll look at Wu. We need to keep Bob under control. We cannot have Bob dying today. Bob wants to kill her.
You wouldn't be the only one on this boat.
Well, I'm sure, but we have bigger fish to fry. We have bigger obligations. We can't lose you. We can't lose anybody right now. Not for revenge. Not now. We got to put our personal differences aside.
Barney, do we see anything that's actually blocking the stagecoach? Or making
No.
the stage that it can't run?
No.
I'll start walking towards her.
Is there enough seats for everybody?
Yeah. Madame Givens kind of smiles and then she smiles, cordially smiles, and then subtly but charismatically kind of waves her. She pulls out like a handkerchief, a white handkerchief, and kind of waves it in a universal symbolism of truce.
Since she does that, then I'm cool with approaching.
I'm already approaching, so.
It's sunny, Barney.
It is, but it's very shady because of all the trees.
All right, just checking.
Yeah.
I go sit down.
Okay.
I'll sit next to Bob.
I sit on the other side of Bob from Kate.
Okay. She said, Madame Givens says, it's been over 2 years since I briefly saw what was mine. She kind of leans past between Bob and Chaska and the space between both of you and looks at her stagecoach. You're treating it well, I hope?
It's home, of course.
Purpose.
The photographs do last longer.
Yes, but it takes forever to get a picture taken. It has to be so still for how many minutes? She says, my friends tell me, and as she's talking, she unhooks her quiver, and you see unnaturally a stack of probably 40 arrows, and all of you know what each one is in those arrowheads now. And she sets the quiver down next to her. She says, I was very cautious in my youth when I had my node, that I made sure that no one could get into it unless they were invited. And if you recall, I was unable to get into Harrogate until, and she smiles at Wu, your friend invited me. And that invitation has been revoked. So the advantage you have is that I can't get into there right now unless I'm invited. But
Barney,
yeah,
I want to use Cunning Koan
okay,
to see if there's any illusion or bullshit or falsity going on.
okay,
And so Wu doesn't take a seat. Wu's been walking around. He's like, a wheel stops turning on a road less traveled, a face from the past speaking of words to be unraveled.
okay.
Spend a gnosis and wit's expression to see if there's any bullshit going on, or
Okay.
illusions or trickery.
All right.
Where's the
So
rollers?
I'm not in a condition. I'll rub my stomach really to fence even with words. What do you want?
She says, my friends we've been debating over the past several months, my friends and I, on what I should do with all of you and what I should do about getting my property back. And
Hey, Barney. Sorry,
Yeah.
real quick. I'm going to do Truth of Gaia.
Okay.
So I need to know the difficulty is her manipulation plus subterfuge.
All right, hang on. I got to get that book.
This is an actual book character?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Of course, luckily they tend to underpower them, so it might be a good thing.
Yeah, I remember in the original old vampire book, the prince of the city, for their little beginner adventure at the back of the book, had like 2 or 3 disciplines at like 1 and 2 dots. I'm like, how is this a prince of the city?
Well, remember, it was probably a North American prince, and they're a lot weaker than you would find in Europe.
Yeah, but I mean, it was like, as you were saying, it was just ridiculously kind of underpowered.
Oh yeah, they always were. I mean, even if you look at Chicago by Night, Helena, for a friggin' 5th rank Toreador who's as old as she is. I mean, yeah, she's got a few 8s, but she's vastly underpowered from what I imagine a creature like that would actually be.
Mm-hmm. So Barney, 4 successes on my roll.
4 successes?
Yeah.
All right.
Barney, while you're looking that up, Truth of Gaia, as judges of the litany, Philodox have the ability to sense whether others have spoken false, truth or falsehood. A Gaffling or Falcon teaches. The player rolls intelligence, empathy, difficulty of the subject's manipulation plus subterfuge. This gift only reveals only the target. Sorry, the gift reveals only whether the target speaks the truth or lies.
All right, so that difficulty of a 7. And what does that roll do for you, Woo?
Basically, it lets me see through bullshit, trickery, and lies.
All right.
Um,
It doesn't see like any like illusions or anything. Like that.
yeah, it says the character can cut through any falsity, illusion, or bullshit with a few choice words.
Okay. When you do that, you do sense that what she's saying so far is not untrue. You do sense there's a lot of there's some heavy wild spirit presence, and you get the sense that there might be more Black Furies that are kind of not actually in the grove, but are in the immediate vicinity. All right. And how many successes did you get, Dale?
Just one success, but I only need to get me successful.
Okay. All right.
I'll reach out with a quick mind speak to our pack and let them know that there's more Black Furies around than what we see.
Doesn't surprise me.
Madam Givens continues and says, so I do owe it to my sisters that they have convinced me that the work that you're doing is very important to all of us. So I have the ability to know what could possibly happen, and I'm willing to align myself with your goals.
Is she lying?
No.
What's the price for this assistance?
She smiles. She goes, I think you know what the price is going to be. And let me be clear. The stagecoach is mine. That belongs to me. This isn't me taking anything that doesn't belong to me.
You created it, but it doesn't belong to you. If I piss on a tree, I've created urine on a tree, but doesn't mean I own it.
Very progressive of you.
And in all this time, wouldn't it have just been easier just to make a new one?
There's too much it took to make that. She says, here's my offer. This can go 3 ways. The storm eater that you will invariably come to. This ritual that you'll need to do will have to be in the vicinity of the storm eater. I would have the ability to weaken it enough to ensure the success of this ritual. But when I do that, I myself will be extremely weakened. It would increase your survivability. It would increase the odds of you surviving if we do this.
Would increase the odds of the ritual working.
Yeah, survival is not our goal here.
The ritual.
Yeah, we're Garu. Dying for the cause is part of the job.
The second option is that I do this and you turn on me and you kill me. The third
option is you turn on us and kill us?
No, the third option is I do nothing and let you fight the Storm Eater in its full indestructive power.
Well, let me allay your fears of the second one. if we do come to terms of some sort of arrangement with you, our honor bounds us. We don't kill allies.
Although we tried allying ourselves with you once before and were met with deceptions and power grabs. We could have shared and lived in peace. And instead you decided to try to take it all on your own. We could have been stronger together, and now we're ripped apart because you had to be greedy. Because you had to play on our trust.
I never lied to you. I made it very clear since day one. I said I wanted to get to Harrogate. And I never told you why. You never asked. I made it very clear what my intentions were the entire time. Even when I was allied.
So, with that being said, if you were as clear with your intentions as you say, were you to take back what did you call it, node that you created? Were you to take it back from us? What would be your intentions? What would be your goals? What are your plans?
It's a part of me. It's not, it's a piece of me that's missing. Everybody has something they're looking for, something they've lost. I wouldn't say it's my sole driving purpose, but I'm weaker without it.
What is your sole driving purpose?
To make sure that there's equality, to make sure there's good in this world, and to make sure that other genders are not treated as second-class citizens.
It seems like your ways of doing this thus far have been pretty shady at best.
How is that?
The half-truths you just spoke of.
Yeah.
They're speaking of events, fortunately, before I arrived, so
Nothing's written.
She still, I mean, she still has those silver fangs like in arrows now, doesn't she? Or did we take those, or what?
You took those.
Okay, but
Somebody grabbed those. Who was it? I think it was Kate grabbed those.
Yeah.
No, I grabbed the mayor.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, they're still in there. I figured we had them, but they're still trapped in those things, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Remember, we were told she hates Silverfangs and Get more than any other.
I mean, that's pretty. You really can't trust anybody who loves the Silver Fangs and the Get.
Fair point.
So you're presenting us with 3 options.
Which obviously the first one is you let us continue on the mission with the stagecoach. When the time is right, you will weaken the Storm Eater to assist us in destroying it. And in return, when all is said and done, you get the stagecoach. Is that right?
So basically, she says it's not 3 options. There's 3 ways this could happen. There's only you either want my help or not in defeating what your goal is, which is to destroy the Storm Eater.
You know, all your talk of equality, all your talk of a better world, and not once, not one time have you ever spoken of considering what the cairn wants. The mayor doesn't want you. The cairn doesn't want you. It is just as alive and sentient and worthy of respect and honor as any of us here. And it's made its choice. So all I hear are more half-truths and more greed coming from your lips so that you can have the power that you crave when you could have already had it before if you hadn't been consumed by your greed and lived in peace with us. This is a waste of our time. She's a waste of our time.
So do you feel it's greed from your perspective that you would rather sacrifice your entire success on saving the world for a stagecoach? For something that I made?
If the sentient stagecoach has its way and makes its own choices, then yes.
Then yes.
And if the stagecoach, if the stagecoach refuses, you would risk the entire world.
Isn't that kind of the point?
The stagecoach or the world?
No, that we all have our own choices. It's what you're fighting for, or at least you claim to be fighting for. So that the
I don't think she views
minorities get their way.
But the problem is she doesn't view the stagecoach the way you do. You view it as a living, sentient being. She views it as property.
That's her problem, not mine.
Yeah. It just shows how empty her talk of equality is.
My father was an honorable raving lunatic, but he doesn't judge where I go in my next step. And he created me just as you created the stagecoach. It's your child. But you can't control every next step that a child makes. You shouldn't.
Yeah, I thought you were the wild. I should say to her, control where the weeds grow or the trees appear or where it rains. This sounds very much of something of my ilk. It's a piece of the weaver. It's a machine. It's a contraption. You're puzzling me. That's all I say.
So you view it as you view this as the wood and the wheels itself is all living inside of that stagecoach. You believe that when it was down, the windows and the doors and the glasses that were in the bar were all living things?
Those are all individual pieces. My fingernail isn't part of the greater intellect of myself. I wouldn't expect that my fingernail would make decisions, but my spirit does make those decisions and has its own free will.
The last time you encountered the spirit of that cairn, you put it in a cage. You did that.
So you would be willing to have the stagecoach make its decision on whether it would come with me or go with, stay with you.
If the stagecoach chooses of its own free will with no interference from you to go with you, then as my two companions said, it has made its choice. It's made its decision. It does have that free will. We won't stop it from making its free choice if that's what it wants to do.
And then it looks like we're walking to do this ritual.
I
But
would
it seems that you want that you don't want that. Looking to give us.
I think this is all what happens after the fact.
I still don't have any sort of sense of ultimately what your goals are. You've talked about lofty ideals. Ideals, everything you've spoken about have been for naught, have been in the face of your actions. If you can show something more, talk something more of what your actual intent is, then we can have a real conversation.
She
I'm going to use Barney's slip of the tongue,
okay.
and it's basically going to be both of us, her and I, roll manipulation subterfuge, difficulty of each other's willpower. If I succeed, one success is basically she gives away something she doesn't really want to give away. I get 5 successes. She basically confesses anything that, she basically just spills her guts. I'll read the actual.
All right.
I was hoping for something much more illicit when you said slip of the tongue, because that kind of porn goes real far these days.
Must engage the target in conversation relating to the suspected crime or action. The player and the target make a resisted manipulation subterfuge roll, difficulty the opponent's willpower. One success allows a subtle slip only noticeable to the already suspicious, while 5 result in the spilling of damning information. No judge would discount.
So wait, so you roll it and she rolls it?
Yeah, she rolls her manipulation subterfuge, difficulty 8, because that's my willpower. And I roll manipulation subterfuge, difficulty whatever the hell her willpower is.
Her willpower is 10.
Woo-hoo, this is going to be fun. I'll spend a willpower too.
I was just about to say.
That's why I only got her for 1 round last time with True Fear.
All right, how do I roll more dice here, GM?
Where it says advanced roll, then you
Okay.
pump up
there
the
it
number
is.
of dice.
All right. Your manipulation, her manipulation subterfuge is 7.
No, hers is it's 8.
Oh, okay.
My willpower is 8.
Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of dice. I think you rolled the wrong ones.
Yeah, those are also 20s.
What?
Yeah, those are 20s.
What the hell?
No, that was me. I rolled that. And you just botched. Actually, you just failed because you spent a willpower.
Well,
actually, Barney just botched.
Oh.
Wait, how did it say 7 success? Oh, I did below.
Yeah, but it also doesn't count. It doesn't take into account your ones. It doesn't. So when you use that little pop out, it doesn't actually negate the ones. Don't negate successes.
Yeah.
So Barney, you botched, and Kate, you failed. So suddenly Chaska feels really good about everything.
Yeah, that's a weird
Yeah.
role, right?
I mean, the botch would almost overthrow the failure.
Yeah. So what does it? So she basically tells you what you just.
Yeah, basically, it'll result in the spilling of damning information no judge would discount. So basically, she's going to tell us exactly what she would do with the stagecoach if she got it. If that's the result you're
Right,
saying.
you got to ask that question then, right?
Well, he already did,
Ask
and
it.
I'll say, what are you going to do with this if you get it?
And give some specific details.
She says, basically, I might as well be talking to gnats. I might as well be talking to insects. I'm only entertaining this entire conversation for the very sake that you actually have 2 Black Furies and you have some very powerful females on board. That with a mere thought and suggestion, I could actually grab that entire stagecoach and have it under my sway at any moment. But the very fact I'm having this conversation, which sickens me to the very depths of my soul, I'm doing this because I actually respect my sisters.
Wow, what do you have to roll to not rage?
In the end, whether you all die horribly or not, and if at the death of anything that could happen, I will eventually get my hands back on it, because every single road that I've seen in the future leads me back to having that stagecoach again, and I'm gonna envelop it back into my entire soul, making me powerful as I was before.
I get a little smile and look around, then laugh. Who did that?
Kate will just very gently pat your knee and smile at you.
This is kind of refreshing.
She actually looks kind of you see you actually see Patrina, the Philodox there, look shocked at Madame Givens. Madame Givens looks surprised as well as she said that, and she actually, and then she first a look of shock gets on her face, and then she smiles and she says, "That actually felt very refreshing."
What?
It's amazing. It's amazing what the power of truth would do, my lady.
Spend a gnosis to do Shadow of the Rat, Barney.
Okay.
That's just priming myself in case I gotta Hulk out.
What does Shadow of the Rat do?
It lowers the difficulty of my stamina rolls.
Okay. She says, "It's honestly up to you. It truly is up to you. I can help you. And if I help you weaken the storm meter, I myself will be weakened."
But it's a temporary weakening, isn't it?
It's enough for you to kill me. It's enough for you guys to turn away from fighting the storm meter and kill me.
Something tells me all those Black Furies that you have hiding in the woods back there would probably step in. Make sure that didn't happen.
And something tells me that you'll be hitting from both sides with scores of Bane spirits attacking you as well, to prevent you from. Your job is to protect your people, to make sure that that ritual succeeds. And if the storm meter in its present power, in its vicinity, is going to wipe them all out before they can finish their ritual.
Is the mind speak thing still going on in our heads?
Yeah.
It can be.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I could. I talk in my head. Is like, you guys still there?
Yes, Bob, we're still here.
What are you guys?
So it wouldn't surprise me if she actually hear us.
What are you guys feeling?
Honestly,
Like I want to jump over there and bite her throat out.
well, yeah. Let's speak practically, though.
Yeah, that's what I was feeling.
Honestly, as much as I love the stagecoach, the Storm Eater is a higher priority.
She's gonna fight the Storm Eater no matter what. She lives in this world too. She doesn't want to live in a world that's been taken over by Bane spirits.
Do you think this is a giant bluff?
Yeah, she knows what's coming. She doesn't want it any more than any of us do. The best chance she has of stopping the Storm Eater is with us doing our ritual as well. She doesn't want it to happen any more than we do. That's just common sense. She's just trying to manipulate what she would be doing already to get an in. She'll find any way in that she can.
And we know regardless she's coming after it, no matter what, afterwards.
Oh, we might be dead afterwards anyway.
And I doubt she's going to be as weak as she says she's going to be, because no one professes that level of weakness.
Right.
They do if they botch a roll.
Yeah. And as I said, she has multiple packs of Black Furies to watch her back.
Well, those Banes aren't going to ignore those Black Furies. They'll be busy too.
I'm sure there's more than one or two Thurges in there.
Well, why don't we call her bluff then? You're a poker player, Wu.
The only reason why I ask is because Cheska and Wu have some pretty strong feelings on this. Yeah, I would love to kill her, but I'm leaning towards calling the bluff, actually.
Yeah.
At the fight, everybody's going to be centered on me. I'll use pack shield.
Yeah. Sometimes the best way to handle a bluff is to not let the other person know that you know.
Well, what do you think I should say? Because obviously she's barely restraining herself from killing you by her own words.
I don't know why she just doesn't take it.
Well, she said she's not invited in.
But she just told us that's all bullshit. She can just, with the blink of a thought, take it. She stopped us in our tracks.
She could take it, but I think she can't get in.
Or
she could take it, but she couldn't necessarily harness it.
Like Wu said, she understands the importance of this, and she doesn't want to overthrow the apple cart before the time's right.
Exactly.
She wants a deal. She wants a deal for the stagecoach, but she still wants this to work. When I was questioned at the poker tournament, I'll look over at the leader of the pack that's behind her. She said that they will be here at the end when they need us. And I believed her. She was the only reason I walked out of that room. The others in that room were prepared to drag me back to Devil's Cairn in chains if needs be. She was the reason I was allowed to leave. So we need to give her an answer.
This
We need to
isn't
say
the
something to
place
her.
for it to go, but it isn't the worst place, I suppose.
I know. Meanwhile, we're just all standing around being quiet for like 10 minutes.
Just
I imagine she's smart enough to know what's going on.
I'll say out loud, we're deliberating.
She kind of holds up a teacup and nods.
I look to Bob. You're the rank here. You're our Arun at a time of war. What do we do?
I think in a roundabout way, she is on our side. My leanings are to go with the overt aid.
Deal with the consequences later. I imagine she's going to want some sort of assurance from us before we leave.
What type of assurance? I say this out loud. What type of assurances would you like? Should we choose to walk the path together?
I would expect an invitation into the stagecoach.
Ah,
Does it have to be now?
No.
the
Can the mayor communicate with us at this distance?
No. I mean, he's in talking distance. He's only probably about 40 feet away from you guys.
Yeah, but I don't really want him to talk out loud.
He's 40 feet away. Hey, Mayor!
I'll just do one of these and walk back to the stagecoach. Well,
Okay.
waddle back to the stagecoach anyway. Go inside, close the door, and ask the mayor, what do you want? You're listening to all this. What is your opinion? What do you think?
He
And
says,
I'm still mind speaking to the others, so hopefully they can hear this.
"Do you know how a fetish is made?" He says.
Vaguely, I'll have to ask the professor, but yeah, you basically pound a spirit into a piece of metal.
Yeah. You capture a spirit and you make it work for you.
So basically, you're her fetish.
In another way, you can think of me as basically, I am a fetished Cairn in so many ways, if you want to think about it that.
So what we're accusing her of, we do every day. Huh.
Yes.
Well, I guess that kind of puts egg on our face, doesn't it?
You make a bargain, you do kind of things,
But that doesn't answer the question. What do you want? You want to go back with her? You didn't seem very happy to when I first met you. This was removed from her for a reason. Was it
I
just
wish.
greed? What?
He says, to be honest, I've never been asked that question. You treat me just as well as she treated me. You treat me just as poorly as she treats me. I'm a spirit. I do bidding. I don't have a stake in this. If the stagecoach collapses, I'm free. It's
Well, that's what you want. That's what you want.
He says, but it's more than that in here as well. We're so big. There's other smaller spirits that seem to be around it, almost like remora are to a whale. We're a spiritual coral reef. We're homes to other things now because of our mere existence. And to be fair, we're a cairn today. We might be. I could easily be something else tomorrow.
Well, you're not a Karen. You don't have a moon bridge.
You can ask. That's one definition of it. I would venture to ask, if we weren't a Karen, why was Hardstone a Karen warder and still kept his job? A third would say we're not. A third would say we're not because we don't have a moon bridge. An Aaron would say we are because he still warded us. He still protected us. And a Karen warder does not.
Well, tradition. But you never really answered the question, so it doesn't really matter to you.
He says, I'm incapable of having an opinion on this.
I'm relaying all this to everybody else. So
he had a plenty strong opinion last season.
Yeah.
all right, I'll leave the stage.
Right. Yep.
I'll just say, well, you heard all that.
That's right. Yes, you're right, Brian. He said, "Do not let her in." He did say that.
Yeah, like he had really strong opinions about this. He even said to Wu, like, "Oh, Wu, you don't know what you just did. You made a big mistake, Wu."
Yeah,
I would say,
yeah.
He doesn't view us. I'll say in my head, he doesn't view us any differently than her.
If we heard her conversation, I would say, so then what's to stop us after we've destroyed the Stormbringer if we undo the carriage and set the spirit free?
Well, that was my initial suggestion. Destroy it. And Bob went ape on me.
He said, she said, I'd be very disappointed.
Who says that?
I don't think he said that out loud.
Oh, he just said it out loud. Okay.
No, he said that in his head. No, he said that in his head.
No, I'm not going to say that out loud.
Okay.
Honestly,
my expression role.
We don't even know if it's possible to destroy this thing. And he's right. You know, if this is her fetish, you know, I look at Bob's hip. There's a spirit in there that we use for our own purpose. How are we different?
And also too, as I'm playing it back in my head from the final episode in last season, Brian, you are right. What she did was transform the mayor, Mayor, and his an entire town. So he didn't want that to happen because he knew she was going to take him away. So what he was afraid of has already happened. He's now a horse and pulling a carriage. So now that it's happened, it's like the same thing where, you dread, getting fired, but once it's happened, you're like, well, after getting like 2 years later being fired, you're like, well, man, that shit happened, man. What are you gonna do? Like it's like, that's me trying to replay. And yeah, as you mentioned it, he did not want her to come because when she came in, she transformed the entire town into a carriage and turned him into a bird. But right. As you guys escaped, he transformed into a horse.
So I say in my head, my feelings are we make the deal. We do not invite her in until after the Stormbringer or
Storm Eater.
the Storm Eater has been destroyed. And I would like to sweeten the deal by her releasing all of the Garu that she's stuck into arrows. And
well,
I
let's see if-
and
well,
I what?
I'll say I'll present that to her, but
And I will be very specific about these words. I will ensure her safety.
all right, I'll look at Madam Givens.
I'll propose like Wu or Chaska.
I don't
Yeah,
know that
what's
we
your guys'
can
opinions?
trust any deal that we make with her. We heard what slipped out of her. She'd be just as willing to set that whole Black Fury pax on us as or work her magic and put us in those arrows as anything else.
Well, but she's given us that respect regardless, so let's take it. The fact that she hasn't done that says something. If we know she has the power to do it, yet she hasn't done it,
Well, like I said, she needs us to
no,
complete
she
this
needs
ritual.
legends. She doesn't need us.
Yeah, well, we're the ones making it happen. We're all one kit and caboodle at this point.
Yeah, there's
Chaska?
still one legend left to get.
Yeah, she doesn't want an end of the world any more than we do.
Chaska, what's your thought?
Do we want to keep our enemies closer?
That's a double-edged sword. It could be good or it could be bad. Ask Caesar.
I'm fine with it.
I almost wonder if we shouldn't figure out some way to put her in check.
I would love to hear how that would happen.
I don't know, but it's something I've been considering in terms of the Black Spiral as well. Maybe we make them room together.
Well, I thought you didn't want to invite her right now.
Oh no, definitely not now. Once that invitation is issued to her, it's a whole new game.
Oh, I don't disagree. I just wonder if there isn't some way that we couldn't shackle her.
Or if we offer her up to my mother.
Ask Mayor. Ask the mayor.
Oh, if
Yeah,
there's
I'm just standing outside the stagecoach at this point.
Yeah, so Kate, ask the mayor.
All right, I'll go back in.
We can just talk to the horse, right?
Yeah, you can talk to the horse. You don't have to go.
Well, but that's out loud. I don't want to talk out loud.
Oh,
Inside, she can't hear.
okay.
Well, you heard that. Is there anything we can do to shackle her, contain her,
If for a short period of time.
even for a short period of time?
Is there some way that we can hold her to her word?
The best thing that you can do is hold her explicitly to an oath of some kind.
You mean make her make her what?
Be very explicit in the wording of it, and make sure there's a timeline on it. She's never lied. She might not tell you the whole truth, but she's someone who doesn't lie.
And that's why that's one of the reasons that I think this is something we can use to our benefit. I mean,
No, it's still
it'd be great to take her into the spiral with us.
So if she makes a promise, she will keep it, but she will keep it to the letter of the promise.
Exactly. And so will we.
Okay.
You want me to write up a contract?
You do have that skill.
A little lawyer here.
I think that's a great idea.
Honestly, he's a lawyer warrior.
I think it's a great idea.
What's your law, Bob?
4.
Mine's a
What's
2.
what's your intelligence law total?
It's 3 intelligence.
So 7. I mean, 7 dice. Spend a willpower. That's obviously have Bob write it up. However many successes is how binding it is, because it's fun to role play it, but mechanically, if the character can do it better, you should let him.
I think or at least we can give Barney the gist of it.
Well, yeah, obviously.
We want to we want her to assist us in any way possible towards the end goal of disposing of the Storm Eater. So that would include, if we're loose enough about that, that would include her helping us with the spiral.
Yeah. I think we should make plans.
What's that?
I think we should make plans to reunite at the spiral, or before going into the spiral. I think it's an absolutely terrible idea to invite her in.
No, we're not.
Anytime before we've defeated the Storm Eater.
She gets the invitation the moment the Storm Eater is rebound or dies, or whatever the end result of this mission is. She gets it back then. She gets the invite then. The moment it's defeated, with her assistance, she gets this back. We will give her the invite the moment that happens. If she doesn't assist with the Storm Eater, she doesn't get anything.
Okay. And the mayor's okay with this?
He's a fetish as far as he's concerned. He says she treats me no differently than we do.
Well, he invited us.
He did, but he compares himself to pretty much Bob's Clav. He's a tool to be used, a spirit that was put into an object. To condemn her for doing what we do every single day seems kind of hypocritical.
He seems as though, too, just for the sake of the history of the story, he does seem a lot less active as he was as he was the mayor when you guys are actually in town. So he feels that you guys, that anybody with any empathy would know that he just feels like he's kind of he's been battered for the past couple of years, being in a completely different form. So
are those all the elements?
Yeah. Yeah, Kate doesn't have much empathy, so she got a 1.
So I guess we also definitely...
You know what we should do? We should promise everybody who wants the carriage that they have access to the carriage after we defeat the Storm Eater, but never tell anybody that they have exclusive access to the carriage. And then once we're done with it, they can all, just can have a fight with the Shadow Lords over who gets to keep it.
Just sit on the sidelines, eat popcorn, and watch the Russell Royal.
Yeah, just let everybody, just make a guarantee that everybody has access to the carriage, but never give anybody exclusive access. We'll have to. I say give it to Madam. I say give it to Madam Givens and let the other tribes try to take it from her. Oh, I mean, we're probably going to be all dead by then anyway.
See, that's why I was saying let me be the one to sign off on the honor, because if I'm dead, it's like, well, Bob's gone. He signed off on it.
So, Barney, does that work for you then, as far as what the arrangement is, and let Bob try to make the terms?
Yeah, if Bob wants to roll, I think it's a good idea. I don't think you've rolled your law, I think, twice in the entire almost 3 years we've been playing.
I used it for a contract somewhere else too, but yeah. All right. So if things hold true, remember Nat X that the masterful driver, he had a 5. He only drove once and he failed. So
The
all right,
correct driver. Yep.
what's my diff, Barney?
Let's do.
What?
So the one thing that she will not agree to, she'll agree to half of the quiver, but not all of the arrows.
Oh.
So half of the silver fangs?
Half of the quiver. You're not sure what else is in there.
No, I think he wanted the 5 that we have freed. I don't think he's talking about the quiver.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant all of them.
I thought he meant all of them too.
Are there Garu in all of them?
Yeah.
Bitch.
Oh, I thought you just meant the
Yeah,
5.
like, why the fuck are we even slightly trusting her?
I thought you only meant the 5 that we had.
Half of them that half sounds good. But
Does that include the 5 that we have?
But
She
definitely
doesn't know. She honestly doesn't know which one's which.
okay. Half of them.
Yep.
Seems good to me. Let me find out where I do the rolls. Oh, they're there. Intelligence.
I know the all tab page is so fucking long. Like trying to find something on it, you're like scrolling.
Can you do a
You
control?
said 6, Marty?
Difficulty of a 7.
Oh, come on.
I'll spend the willpower.
You're writing a contract. It should technically it should be higher because you're making a contract with somebody who has the mindset of how things are 2,000 years ago. So
That doesn't mean he knows law.
Yeah, but I've got a 4 and contractor specialty, so if I get some 10s, we'll be happy.
Ryan, you can do control F.
So
Really? On the sheet?
Yeah.
2 successes,
Oh, cool.
and there is a 10, so 3, Barney.
all right, 3 successes. All right, it is a 3 successes.
A completely successful contract.
Yeah.
See, I
It'll
knew
survive any scrutiny.
No, 1 success. Wait, no, let's see, because you got because you had a 1 in there, and that took away your 10.
Oh, it takes away the 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you got 1 success. That's still.
So just 2.
Yeah,
Okay, you spent your willpower.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, yeah, because that's. Yeah, no, he has
No, he's
2
got 2.
successes with the willpower,
No, he's
but
got
then
1.
he got 3 because of the specialty.
No, he's got 1 success.
Yeah, because the 10.
Oh, that's right. The 10
one
is the
took
thing
away
that disappears. The 10 is the first. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It takes away the highest dice.
Yeah.
So 2 successes.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's a good contract. She says, "Do you have any archers in your pack?" And she hands over about 30 arrows.
No, we want them free.
The only way to free them is to use it.
I
So-
can do it.
So firing the arrow releases their spirit to the afterworld, I'm assuming.
She says, or they, depending if you're really bad. There's been some occasions where they've exploded, and the actual Garu comes out extremely upset.
Well, coming out is what I didn't know we were talking about the whole afterlife thing. I thought they were like bound in there, and
I think they imagine that you would reverse whatever you did and make them Garu again.
Or at least release the spirits.
That wasn't part of the contract, she smiles. It was to hand over half the quiver.
no, it was to release them. That's specifically in there. It's not to hand me arrow.
That's how she interpreted
Caught that one, and Bob.
it. The arrows, once used, they are very powerful. She says, so then I meet you when you go into your
into the pit to get the Black Spiral Dancer. And we will work side by side and end this menace to all of us.
I believe we're at an accord. She stands up, and the table and the canopy vanishes, and the entire clearing vanishes and turns into just, and you just start seeing the stone pathway pop out of existence, and you're just in the woods.
Barney, I had a glitch in the Matrix a minute ago. I don't know if you heard, but I was going to pick up the quiver of arrows.
Okay.
Wu actually has archery that he never gets to use, but
Okay.
he also lost an eye or something, so it's more difficult.
Well, you close one eye, but you shoot arrows anyway.
Yeah, it makes it easier. So basically, I'll give you the stats on those arrows. They'll do arrows, but the rage of the Geru that's trapped inside the arrowhead adds to the aggravated damage of the arrow.
Ow!
Yeah.
Let me see, where's my items? And how many arrows are in the quiver?
30.
Barney,
Yeah.
before they would have left, I would have found that pack leader, the one Mike played in the previous episode.
Yeah.
I would have just given her a very respectful nod.
Okay. She nods back to you. And she says, and she basically says the same thing Rhea told you, is that they're, basically the way that tribe treated you, your Karen is not normally how other sisters treat each other, as you can see. As you guys are heading back towards the, and you see that, Madam Givens kind of turns and walks away with, and as she does that, you do see almost when that canopy dematerializes, you see that you count about maybe 20 other Black Furies. You see some wolves kind of walk away with her. And as you guys are walking back to the stagecoach, you see down the path, further down the path, you see two Lupus. One who seems to be jumping and kind of like running in front, like the dog from like, "Hey George, you want to do this, George?" kind of deal from the Looney Tunes. And a very old, hobbling, gray, very old Lupus wolf as well, walking steadily towards the stagecoach.
Can we tell what tribe they are?
Whoever's that you recognize, Wu and Chaska, and yeah, Wu and Bob recognize her as that's Jessie, that Lupus pup from Sunny Hill.
Oh yeah, this is our child again.
Oh, I met her then.
Yeah, she's jumping, kind of like running ahead of her, and she's like, with her tongue wagging out, and she's wagging her tail, and says, "Yeah, here it is, right here."
I'll stop and go back.
You see the old Chadagaya kind of stop in front of the stagecoach and looks up at the mayor, and she kind of smiles a bit as a dog would smile, and sees the four of you, and she says, she says, "I believe you're looking for me."
Yes, we are.
Oh, it's our legend.
Welcome, my lady.
Who gives a deep bow?
She sighs and says, "Jesse told me what you needed." And she says, "I'm ready to go into where we go."
I'll look at Jesse. Will you be joining us?
She says, "I got to get back to Sunny Hill, and I'm kind of due for an adventure anyway, so I'm just going to see where these trees go."
I'll open the door for the old wolf.
She kind of reaches for Bob's shoulder to help her up into the stagecoach.
I help her up.
She kind of smiles a bit and she says, "It still smells like the old town." And she nods to all the other old people in the stagecoach.
They're all in there with blankets on.
Watching, in recliners watching Matlock.
I'll put a hand on Bob's shoulder before he goes in. Are you okay with this?
If I wasn't, I would have started a fight right there.
I know, but I know you want to avenge Ted, but
she needs to, or let's see, how do I say? The only reason why I can stomach it is because I view her much like something that grows in the ground.
okay, that metaphor is lost on me.
She's the wild. She doesn't think. She just grows.
So
She grows and overcomes. And from the way I see it, she doesn't seem to be. So yeah, is that enough metaphor?
yeah, fetal brain drain and all, you know.
I don't know about you, but after that, I feel the strong urge to punch something. Where's our bee?
Inside, hiding or passed out underneath the table somewhere.
We're doing what we need to do.
Come on, I have more of Phil's money to gamble with. Let's go play cards.
And that's what we have for tonight.
Nice.
So, if I'm wondering though, if Ryan and Mike were here tonight, if this would have gone differently.
Oh, there would have been wigs all over the green. Especially with Arby here. I'm glad you're still alive so Ryan can hear that.
So we get 5 wisdom, yes?
That was pretty freaking wild.
Oh, yeah. Hey, are we getting renowned for our new set positions?
Oh yeah, good call.
Is that why you guys picked those, so you guys could just get renowned?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Plus, I actually was looking forward to, with all the new Garo coming in, I know there's going to be problems and egos, so
Exactly. No, that's actually why I was as much for. That's why Tosca would have taken the role as much as the Reno.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, and for your roles that you took, you guys get 1 glory, 2 honor, and 1 wisdom per year. So you're only going to get it once, probably. So
1 glory, 2 honor, and 1 wisdom.
yeah.
Oh, getting so close. Getting so close.
So Barney, I realize the legends, once they're dead, you know, I mean, they really can't get any more renown. They'll just be even more legendary. What kind of renown would we get?
Posthumous?
Even if we live.
Posthumous.
Even if we live.
7 glory.
Wow.
Well, if you live.
Yeah.
Where is it? Defense.
Defense of all of Gaia.
Yeah, 7 glory.
Still, that's impressive.
But if you die, you get 7 glory and 7 honor.
So I think at the very least, we're going to get 3 honor and 2 wisdom. So we mediated a dispute fairly and impartially, protecting the veil by covering up incidents, blah, 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 blah. And then we also did, each of us did the giving good advice.
Giving good advice to. All right. So where was that other one you said?
It's like the third, was it? I don't know, the third one down, mediating a dispute fairly and impartially.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, this is probably the most, this is me, like, this is probably the most like significant dispute that could be mediated in Harrogate.
Yeah.
I mean, one good thing is we don't have to look over our shoulder for her anymore.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I'll give that to you guys. Yeah. 3 honor and 2 wisdom.
Woo! Woo! All right, I've got the wisdom that I need.
You fourth?
No, I still gotta get 3 more glory.
Get into a fight with Bob.
There's nothing glorious about that.
You know what? There was a time that I was trying to get up to 3rd rank, and I only showed up to games where there was no fighting. I was like, God damn it, I'm just going to challenge Bob to a fight. To like a...
Well, my
an
glory
expedition round or
12
something.
now.
There are, you know, if you look at
that, but
if you challenge Bob to a non-lethal duel, you can gain 2 glory, and well, the winner gains 2 glory, the loser loses 2 glory. So if you're confident that you could take them, you gain 2 glory. If he kicks
Well,
your ass,
this is also back when we were a few ranks, a few gifts ago. This is like over a year ago. But we never actually challenged them. But I was like,
cards? You want to play cards? I've not been to any games where I've got to play actual cards. I might be good.
Here's the interesting thing is I'm looking at Kate's renown. Her glory, her permanent glory is 3. Her permanent honor is 4. Her permanent wisdom is 6.
Hey, Barney.
yeah, I just go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say, what is the next session? I know it's not for another 2 weeks.